So, for example, if you're living alone and you close from work and you don't want to eat, you can decide to go to bed hungry. However, if you have someone's daughter with you, you can't take that decision. It must be a decision between the two of you. So there is the necessity to provide. So it is in this provision that some men project that, okay, presently I'm not able to even find my way as an individual. And what I'm earning now is not something that can shoulder the responsibility of the home. I don't think I would make a mistake to bring another person in, primarily because some of the conversations that go on and the commentaries we hear on social media, some ladies would come out and say, oh, Bema dear, your bottom. And we said that last week. Yeah. And if a man cannot provide, his ego is bruised. And so people say that if you want to control someone, you take away the ability to provide for themselves. So if a man cannot provide for himself, at a point, if maybe the lady is making more than him, he feels that he may be controlled some way, somehow. The lady would decide most of the things that has to happen at home. And so it deters them for actually making a move. And so it may not necessarily be about the wedding. It is also about running of the home, what you need to run the home. And taste is different for most people. Taste is different. A lady can say, oh, if you're in a single room, I don't mind, I can move in. Okay? Another person can say, if it is not this, I am not coming. So this person would also analyze his life and say, well, presently where I am, I'm in a single room. And I don't think you will be comfortable there. The conversation has also switched. Like I said, taste is different. There are some ladies who will tell a man, I can't live in a compound house. So if you're bringing me home, it must be a self-contained. Or even some people push further to say they need a self-compound. So all of these things for men, they project, how can I pay this? How can I, solve this problem? How can I provide shelter? Because there's a lady maybe you love, you appreciate, and you want to give her the best. So if men find themselves in a position where they think they cannot provide fully for the needs of the lady that is coming into their life, they prevent it from even happening in the first place. Those are the thoughts I have gathered personally from some of the conversations that I've had with some of my friends.
But that means that from what you're saying, marriage is even more expensive than the wedding.
It is. I can say for a fact that if a lot of people say that, oh, women love money, I say you are not married yet. The home needs money to run. I'm not saying that it's extravagant thing. I'm just saying that the home needs money to run. There are basic things that you can't put off. For instance, if your wife is cooking and the gas in the cylinder gets finished, you can't put it off. It must be filled. But if you're living alone, you can decide that, okay, I can go a week or two without the gas and it will be fine. If, there are things you need to pay for as a family.
But shouldn't it suffice that maybe to get into marriage, a working man and a working woman must be the ones to come together, so that you don't have a case where it is only one party that is being burdened. And I say that because we know that 2 heads are better than one, and one shall chase 1,000, 2 shall put 10,000 to flight. So shouldn't people rather have the mindset that instead of me having this financial abundance, I'm coming to team up with somebody, I'm coming to team up with a woman to make the home work. In which case, it's not the man who is footing all the bills, but he's teaming up with the woman. What the woman can provide, she's bringing, so that they can make the home work.
Ideally.
Shouldn't that be the perspective?
Ideally, that's what's supposed to be. But we all know that I'm a bit of a traditional person mixed with modernity, so this is what I'll say. And this is my personal opinion. I don't expect people to agree with it. I think that as a man, before you even go in to take someone's daughter to your home, you should see yourself as a provider. And you should be in the capacity to provide.
Is that a sole provider? See yourself as the sole provider. Is that even a realistic?
Not a sole provider. However, you should be in the position that at the end of the day, you are in the capacity to make provision, even if the lady doesn't bring anything. Because you see, at the end of the day, like I said, that's my personal opinion. I mean, people hold different views. It is accommodating to have a lady say that, maybe say, Baba, I will bring this, you two bring that. In the event she doesn't, what happens? Those are some of the questions I ask myself. If she doesn't, what happens? Are you going to sit down, fold your arms, and probably put your hands in between your lap and say, "One first canam benti, we are not buying light this week"? You can't say that. That is how I view it. Like I'm saying, I see a lot of people disagree with me on TikTok, so now I want to clear the air. Not ideally, if she brings this, you also bring that in the space of percentages. Oh, I'm hoping that you will bring this and I'll bring that. But if it doesn't happen, that is my argument. I can't fold my arms and wait for her.
Charity and Lucy seem to be they need to be nodding with approval. I don't know. Okay, okay. So let's hear you.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead, speak.
I had this man of God say that if you're a young man, you have a roof over your head, you have work that you are doing, something that earns you something, and then you can eat 2 meals with a dessert.
Hey, dessert count.
I mean, the dessert can be 3 meals, but he said 2 meals.
Okay.
Okay. And he can eat 2 meals with a...
Go ahead.
Okay. And he can eat 2 meals with a dessert and also afford 2 meals for the other person. You are ready to settle. Now, you know, Apostle, the tangent you were going, it's actually dangerous grounds. I like what I agree with Smart. Okay. A man is to provide. Like he said, that is his opinion. That has been our traditional opinion. That hasn't really gone away. I personally won't check it. I wouldn't say that my father provided for us. Okay? That is not to say that my mother wasn't helping. But he knew it was his sole responsibility to provide. When my mother is able to add to, that is really good. So that also helped run the home. I always say that children are for their children. That is my opinion. Children are for their father. It is the father that is to provide. That is my opinion for the children.
So let me just clarify. So this show is about our opinion. So we don't need to keep emphasizing. So just state your opinion, state your mind
so
without.
To be frank,
okay.
The man is to provide for the home. So once you know you can eat 2 square meals and give another person 2 square meals, you have a roof over your head, you have work that earns you something. I think you should be ready to settle or, marry to get it going. It takes 2 to tango. I don't think the other woman or the woman that comes in will come in idle. Even if nothing is coming yet, there definitely is some sort of work that is going on from her part.
But is that a realistic?
Apostle, if we
is that a realistic view of things? And I ask that because it looks like for all of us, I'm sure our fathers were the sole providers or the majority providers. But the times seem to have changed. And I'm coming. The times seem to have changed. In our current generation, it looks like most of the things are stacked against the men. So now you have a generation where majority of people who are going to school are women. Majority of those who are graduating from school are women. Majority of degree holders are women. In fact, recently, I pastor a Francophone congregation, and an engineering company contacted us, and they said they had some vacancies, and so they needed people to fill the vacancies, and they specified, we want women. We want women. And in my mind, I was wondering, an engineering company. So this is not like some salon or some secretarial. They want women. So it looks like women are occupying most of the positions that prior it was men that were occupying. So here's the thing, which means that basically the women are being more financially empowered. So if we are to be realistic, majority of the women we may meet today, let me for people who don't know, someone I know, let me say for someone I know in my family, their wife earns far more than he does. And that seems to be the norm. In fact, we have cases in the church where some of the wives earn 5 times what their husbands are earning.
True.
Because of the system. So the question is it a realistic view of things to expect that in such a system, the man will be the sole provider or even the majority provider? Wouldn't it mean that the man will have to go the extra mile to be able to do certain things, whereas the woman is already empowered to do so? That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, with what Lucy just said, no matter how rich a woman is, she still needs the husband's money.
Yes.
Oh, so we had to go there.
Charlie, to be frank, you should be clapping for her. This is what I've been waiting to hear.
Penalty
A
box.
woman is, she still needs.
They say the man's money tastes better.
Because the moment the money comes, it makes the women secured. At least they see that you're a provider. They see that leadership in you. A woman won't mind that maybe your children or your child is sick. She rushing her to the hospital. Then maybe the bills is 10,000, and the man is able even to bring 2,000. She feels so much okay that you doing nothing. And when it continues to some time, forget it.
Yes.
She'll lose interest.
So I agree with that. But you see, in the scenario you are mentioning, the woman is not, the scenario you are mentioning, the man is not the majority provider. Because precisely you're saying, in such a case, the woman is more financially capable, and so she steps in to
cover up.
To cover up.
Yeah.
But that seems to be contrary to what observing.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, that she still needs the man's money so that she'll feel like she's a wife.
But that is not
Primarily because, you see, and I like where she picked it from. In the case of men, and Kwame is here, it's not like that. Yeah, KB the MC is here. It is not the same. For men, it may sound an unpopular opinion, but wherever you get the money, you must get it.
Is that realistic?
It is, and that is the reality.
Yes.
Because you see, maybe it is the narrative built or the orientation that some people had when they were young. And some of these proverbs and old adages that we throw into the, marriage circles that, bema sika die, oni obane die. I will translate. Obane sika die, obane pe die. Ono die, yede eka koma ye kunu. Ba yenya infaswa dia yede kofie. In the sense that whenever a man and a woman are living together, the man's money belongs to both the man and the woman. However, the woman's money belongs to just her. And so if she has debt, she must push it to the husband. But if she makes profit, she must take it back home. And so these are some of the things that have accounted for today, the research and the survey that has come out with results that for most men, when they sign a bank account, when they develop properties, when they have all these things, the next of kin is mostly the wives. However, in the case of wives, when they go for bank accounts, the next of kin is either their brothers or sisters. And when they make money, they go back home to actually support the home and not support the matrimonial home that they are in. Why is it so? It is so because for times past, it has always been told that men should be the one to take care of the house. So the man who is yet to get married wants to also put himself in a position where he is able to provide for the home. That's the argument I'm making, that regardless of the money of a woman, the ability to provide for the home and actually take care of the home and let the home run solely relies on the man. If the woman decides to help, fair, God bless her. But
she shouldn't be expected to help.
It is not like we expect. We expect. However, that is not the case in reality. They wouldn't bring it.
But what we are trying to but this discussion is
about why men don't propose.
Yes.
So that's what I'm pointing to. If the man doesn't see himself in a position where he can provide for himself, Lucy mentioned 2 square meals and dessert. When there is a member of parliament from Ningo Prampram who is telling you that men are living by 010 with more pure water and more gari in their beans, who is asking for dessert? We don't do dessert. You understand? We wait till it's 135. Then we eat the beans. We wait till it's 135. Then we eat the beans. Then we add 3 sachets of water. Then we are okay. We call it take me to evening. It takes you all the way. So most men who are yet to take the decision would always say, Charlie, Lucy, let me take Lucy as an example. She's doing well in her job. She has a 9 to 5 she's working on. She has a good salary. If the man is coming in and maybe he does not meet Lucy's standard, he begins to feel a little incapacitated, which is not supposed to be so. However, the narrative built is that That's how come most career women don't have men approaching them. Because there is a standard of living. Apostle, if she's living in a 3-bedroom already before meeting you.
And nobody is saying she should move from the 3-bedroom house
and come to a single room.
Nobody
is saying that. However, when a man, Charlie, when the man will move in, right? The man will move in, but eventually he would feel like he's not doing enough, and that bruises his ego.
But isn't that precisely why we encourage women to marry men of vision? Now I say that because I have a personal example in my father. So at the time my father met my mom, my dad was a preacher and all that, and my mom was a teacher. She had the resources. When he proposed to marry her, she asked what he had, and he said, I only have a packet of ice cubes and icing cake, something like that. Something like that. So he didn't have much. For the engagement, my mother had to supply some of the things that he was supposed to present. But why did she make such a foolhardy decision? Because she saw that this is a man of vision. She saw that this man is going somewhere. And I've seen his track record. Even though right now the money is not there, this is a man of promise. He's not just yobbing. He's not just talking. So even though right now he may not have the wherewithal, I believe that as I join forces with him and I work together with him, he'll get where he's supposed to get. And by the grace of God, they've been married for almost 40 years now. And now she can sit back and enjoy all the things that Daddy is providing. So I'm saying, don't you think many of the women today would be doing themselves a great disservice if they kept these stereotypes in mind, these conservative standards in mind?
Well,
don't you think?
Apostle, I agree with you. Let me come here. So, Smart was saying traditionally, it is expected of the man. I always have, whenever I come to be frank, I always try to use timelines because a dispensation has implications. For example, now, if you want to marry a woman, one of the prerequisites will be either she has a skill, she's skilled with something with her hands, or she has academics, she has a career job. These things are, or she has domestic attributes that will complement the absence of the aforementioned. So if you're going to marry a woman and she doesn't have any of these, it's a no-no. But with money is it's a product of input. So it's very difficult to say I want to marry this gentleman today because he doesn't have now, so he might not. But if I'm come to marry you and you don't have the what they call wife material qualities, those are more red flags than somebody who is maybe unemployed but he has a law degree or something. That one you can see the potential. But when the software, she doesn't respect men, she's not even ready to cook. Not that she can't cook, because there are two different things. There's I like to dance and I can dance. There are two different things. So I love to learn and I'll learn, or I will not, or I can't. So I will go to the software of the individual, whether male or female, before this marriage conversation comes. Now, with being fair to men, there's a statement that to whom much is given, much is expected. In the past, nature, God, the universe bestowed on men muscle, testosterone, drive, ego, lion heart, whatever. So society kind of came to a consensus that since you have these attributes, and depending on the back there were no skyscrapers there, like we are in hearts.
It made sense
that the man should be the forerunner. But now we have also empowered women through Beijing conference or whatever. And the Bible says in New Testament, if to be sound to be religious, it says, in the latter days I'll pour my spirit on all flesh. Was it discriminatory?
No.
So when the Holy Spirit comes, it's going to be both male and female, man and woman, to fulfill the divine agenda. So now these stereotypes in the Old Testament or in the past where we in account say yeah the best swap back for oh you are the one with muscle, so I hear a lion roar, you go face it. Maybe the woman has learned how to trap a hyena, something through skill, through school or something. So now to me, society has to come to a conclusion that it's time we go back to the drawing table. Whatever our grandfather said, that was their time. Current generation, Gen Z, Gen M, Gen Y, whatever, we sit down, we reconstruct the conversation.
But Kwame, are you not doing a lot of assumptions?
Such as what?
Such as
Yeah,
what?
because you see, you're saying that for a woman, for today, a lot of people are looking for some wife attributes, and you know,
if you want to go into marriage, if
yes,
you want to be a professional chauffeur, you should not have to have a driving license. So if you don't have it, it will be difficult for me to consider.
So like
as a
you're saying,
yes.
some women are not ready to cook.
They don't want to learn.
They don't want to
learn it.
Okay.
There's only say you
they
didn't
don't
get
want to
opportunity
cook or something like that. You know, because you see, when the conversation of marriage comes up, when even at the wedding proper for our local setting, the engagement,
yes.
most people call it.
Yes.
The questions that are asked over there by even the father of the bride seeks to suggest that my work
Six underlined.
seeks to suggest. Yes, I'm choosing my words right.
Yes.
That my work on my daughter has ended. So you are taking over.
Yes.
Okay.
And today, even some of the videos that circulate, sometimes you hear the fathers go a step further to say that if at any point in time you feel you cannot take care of my daughter again, bring her back.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
okay. Now, I'm glad you took it back to the religious setting. You quoted scripture.
Yes.
Man is mandated by scripture.
You mean males?
Males, yeah,
Okay,
males.
Because woman is man.
So to take care of the home,
Okay.
all right, and keep it.
Okay.
And keep it.
Okay.
That provisional ability is on your shoulder.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, the word I used was ideal. If it were ideal, it should be you bring what you have, I bring what I have. Then we see the way forward. My question was, if the lady does not bring it, what will you do?
But you see,
That was my question.
But you see, observing, even when you go to Proverbs 31 and you look at the virtuous woman,
That she makes the home.
the Bible, hold on, the Bible says she gets her merchandise from afar. She sells purple. So this is an industrious woman. So even in ancient times, the women had something that they were bringing to the table. So we are not saying anything that is contrary to scripture.
No,
we are just saying we should be in sync with the times. Okay. So even if scripture had not said it,
Exactly.
we have
Common
to
sense.
face the reality of our time. Because if my wife is an engineer and she's earning 5 times more than I am,
If she doesn't bring the money, Apostle, what will you do?
That is on Christian, on Muslim, or on Buddhist of her. Yes.
so that would be the challenge.
The question you asked for the purpose of the show is the response I am giving, because it is, why are the men not proposing?
And the answer seems to be because of certain mindsets that the women have.
Yes.
Because if a woman has this mindset that you are
Yeah,
having,
yeah.
that look, no matter how much I'm earning,
I won't bring her.
I won't bring.
I mean-
it is optional for me to bring, because that's what you seem to be saying.
No.
After
I'm
me
not
listen,
saying that they shouldn't bring.
But you're saying when you say,
But society
in
will
an
not expect her to
hold
bring.
on,
No.
KB,
They wouldn't.
because when you say in an ideal situation, you seem to be proposing that it is not really, it's not obligatory. If the women can, fine, they
Yes,
should. If they don't, it's not really a
yeah.
problem.
Marriage is not
which,
just a
which is what
feeling.
I feel. Maybe we should be very objective about this.
Yes.
Look at it. Maybe you, in your case, you don't have, I don't know your marital situation, but imagine if your wife were earning 5 times more than you. 5 times in this economy, in this low win economy, where cocoa is 8 Ghana cedi.
Yes, so we should not forget that we took it from that video. So, as we are saying, because of the economic change, and
KB.
he said something. This old mentality of the man must have everything. I don't want to mention any church. Before some church. if
But
you're
it's a
going
church.
It's a church.
Okay.
It's a big church.
And also,
The Pentecost church.
Oh, go ahead. So make your
but it
point.
is in Ghana.
Let them make a call.
Kevin, let's help her.
Hey.
This show is called To Be Frank.
Hey.
Before the Pentecost check, will check your background.
Yes,
Come to your
they'll
home.
come to your-
Make sure you have a bed, you have a couch, you have a TV, you have cooking utensils.
That is as the man or the woman.
As the man.
Both.
As the
woman
man.
should have the
It
But
was
the
not
man-
ill intended.
No,
anyway.
no. So like I'm saying,
yeah.
the purpose was to make sure that
You
the
have a
person
starter.
is, yes, you have
Something
something
to
to
start
hold
marriage
the
with.
family.
But you'd be
start.
surprised that they were holding on to that tradition because of back in the day,
That's
how
it.
men are the only ones who can
Exactly.
acquire a. Back in the day, maybe women can't even have bank accounts to even
Because
acquire
back
a
in the
TV
days,
loan or a car
women
loan.
stay home and make babies.
You see why I agree
Yeah,
with
they make
Apostle.
babies.
Exactly.
But now
Exactly.
we are all working.
Can I
So
say something? I want to say
Yeah,
something.
Lucy, go ahead.
We keep on saying back in the days. But I want to believe if we ask our parents today, they will also say that their times were hard. I mean, within the definitive time and how situations were, times were still hard.
But ours is harder.
You are feeling,
Both is hard.
They felt it the same
Apart from
way.
83.
They felt
That
it
they
the
can't
same way.
do.
Were you in those times? Allow
Apart
Lucy
from that one.
So they still feel that if you ask them, they will still think that those times, even when they were getting married, they were also going through the same emotions. How am I going to provide and all
They were
that?
doing reception for 300 people when they were married. Back then.
It's choices.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I still stand by the fact that because when you read a guy's post, the guy didn't say that is the mentality of the woman he wants. He wants to be in a position to provide.
Yes.
And apart from that being a woman's mentality, it is the man's mentality to be in the position to provide.
Yes,
And for me, I think that should be a great thing, Apostle, because this times have changed. We should change with the times. I believe it's actually making some men irresponsible and checking their
Then
responsibilities.
let's detach irresponsibility from the whole conversation. Because every civilization comes to a
that the
realization
reason why-
where they have to amend. That's why we amend
Isn't that the
constitution.
reason why
Even
the
God
men are
changed
not-
his mind.
are not
Even
providing?
God regretted. I don't know if I'm quoting right. When he made man, human beings are evolving beings.
So Lucy, we
They
are
are not
not
stats.
we are not saying that men should shirk their responsibilities.
all.
We are not saying men
That
should
would
be
be
lazy.
very,
I
that would be very
even-
childish.
Even with the example I gave, the personal anecdote with my father, where my mother knew this is not a lazy man. I've seen him work. I've seen him doing ministry. He's getting results. He may not have what I'm looking for now in terms of his financial capacity, but I know this is not somebody who is just yobbing. There are men who will just rap you, but this guy is not like that. So let me give him a shot. And it worked for her.
Okay.
So we are not saying women should go and marry, should accept proposals from lazy
Exactly.
men. But we're saying that, number one, look at potential. Number two, women should also face the reality on the ground. That now, fewer men, all the things I've mentioned, fewer men are being employed, fewer men are graduating, and so on. And rather, you made a statement last week. You said too many people, too many women are asking, what's in it for me? They are talking what I want instead of what am I bringing. I feel this is a good case to mention that women can also bring something to the table.
Yeah, okay.
Not
I
taking
want to
away,
say something before I
not
forget.
taking away the responsibility of men. I'm saying this very passionately because, look, I encountered a lady who is over 40.
Apostle say or.
To be frank, this and this lady is beautiful. She has her own money and all that. But you see, there's a particular mindset she has. And she's been messaging me, Pastor, pray for me. I need a husband.
Share
And
the
sitting down, sitting back, I'm like, okay, this thing doesn't seem to be a spiritual problem. This is probably just a mindset
problem.
If she knew that, perhaps I don't need a man who is wealthier than I, then things I could easily have opened up to certain men. That's what I'm saying. And the reality is, most of the women who may be watching us today, most of the women we may encounter today will be wealthier than
Apostle.
So you see, we
Too
have
much is given.
we have women.
So if I'm wealthy and I'm expecting you to be wealthier than me, then it means that if
you
I'm
as a
giving you
woman-
that much, I should expect that much.
No,
If
society
it's
has
much-
given more to women now,
And so
more
then- so we
education,
also
more
expect-
opportunities.
we
So we're
also
expecting you to come and help
It
play
is
the role we've
equal
been playing from
opportunities,
ancient
though.
of days.
It is equal opportunity.
It's
Honestly.
not equal opportunity.
No, it's not.
I-
My year group,
but
my
you
year
see-
group. When we're
What
entering
you
university,
said
yeah,
about the job.
Lucy,
Wait,
what?
you
My
hold
year
on.
group.
Hold
A
on.
lot of guys had to sit home because they were lowering the bar for women, and I felt was very unfair.
Hold that thought.
Okay,
You
okay.
know when you said the company said they wanted women.
Yes.
It will shock you to know that the reason why they are requesting for women is that they want to balance the equation of males to females.
Yeah.
Because usually when we are doing recruitment, that is what, because some people that actually come in
Of course, it's
want
because
that
More.
a lot of women want the soft life. They don't like engineering courses. They don't do medical.
Apostle.
But then,
They want to do nail filing.
but then
Hey,
you
that one
you've
crap.
talked you
But-
talked you
but,
talked about
uh,
dynamics
KB,
today, and we have
We
seen
shouldn't forget
we
something.
have seen the introduction of STEM. So
Uh-huh.
that some of these arguments. See, the reason why I'm trying to shy away from some of the conversations coming up is because you see, when the question was raised for the conversation today, was why the men are not proposing. For most men, if they are not there yet financially, they won't take the step because you see, Apostle, the step of marriage is a step of responsibilities. And there are men who feel that, see, I am not ready to take up.
Who is creating that feeling? Society. So society is human beings. We change. Maybe
Great.
God is the only one who is yesterday today. But human beings under the sun, they
Great.
change. That's why
Great.
when you will not be 10 forever.
KB.
Exactly.
KB, I get your point. But at the end of the day,
Do you?
I do get your point.
So why the
No,
debate
I'm
then?
so like Apostle shared the story of his dad, right? It is just maybe. It is
Maybe
just
underlined,
maybe,
so you are not
maybe
sure, it's not
underlined.
fact.
It is just maybe 10 out of 100 because a
10 out
lot
of
of
100 of
women
what?
of men
That
that someone saw potential in them and gave them a chance. Because there are also examples of women who thought they saw potential, and the only thing the man came to do was to suck them dry.
that
All
one
right.
in Ghana politics.
Great.
has taught
So
us.
now,
Yes, obviously, I'm sorry,
now,
don't put
now
it.
you see,
African politics.
now you see the conversation
And that is
of
sorry.
the conversation of love, relationship, and marriage is a conversation of defense.
Yeah.
If you really take a listen to everybody, everyone wants to be in a position where no one comes to lord anything over me. We all want to be in a position where I'm able to dictate my terms as well, and not just you. So, like I said, ideally, Inka, why would it be a bad idea that a wife is supporting a husband, or a wife is making more than a husband? It is not any big problem. But a man, most men today would not feel comfortable that, okay, it is her place. I am moving in. She owns the 3-bedroom house already. And I'm making...
Why the discomfort? You see, every human being acts on construct, on ethos. Why would he feel uncomfortable? Why would I feel uncomfortable removing my winky and we win in this studio? Because this is not a washroom. So before any organism, human, mama, will do something that will be either or, it is coming from a construct. So if we've told women that now we've reduced the grade so that you can enter tertiary and compete like men, we're empowering you. Politics, you can do all that a homo sapien can do.
Not been reduced. Maybe your time,
In my year group.
but it's the same for everybody now.
Okay. All I'm trying to say is now we've brought women to the table of men. So now let's all play.
Yes.
Because in the past, you say, hey, man, bro, but now, if you're a woman and you know martial arts, we want the thief to be if you, for you know your husband doesn't know much, you do. At the end of the day, we want to apprehend the thief. Can you do it? Results. So gender roles and the rest should have ended when Y2K compliant. Like it's not Y2K compliant anymore to me. But because most religious text is from ancient way. And because pastors or priests are guardians and they are regulators like Bank of Ghana or whatever or FDA, they are very careful, not lowering the bar, compromising, because human beings can be very fluid and silly.
And we are not even suggesting that there should be compromise, so to speak. What we are saying is be sensitive to the times and be ready to adapt.
Yes.
Be ready to adapt. We are not saying men should shirk their responsibilities. Like I
At
keep
all.
hammering. So the statistics you mentioned.
No,
the,
Apostle,
the,
you see,
the 10 out of 100 case that
And
you mentioned.
Yeah, how can we
coming.
tell men to
Apostle,
share
you
their
see,
and the
responsibility?
women.
what we are asking
That
of
is
people,
that is the lazy
Kevin,
ones.
Kevin,
Yes.
what we are asking of people this afternoon, it is not for the women.
No, but hold on. Observing.
That is where
But
we are getting it
saying
wrong.
why are men
The
not
conversation
proposing?
is that,
Why
hold on.
society is expecting him
Kevin,
to have a house
Kevin,
when he doesn't.
yes.
Kevin, we are saying,
But he wants to have
we are
sex. He's
saying-
burning,
we
like
are
we said
saying
last
that-
week.
We are saying that
And
some-
for a Christian,
a
if you
lady
don't have,
makes
if
5
you
times
are not
more.
married, you can't have sex. No, let me show him how complicated the situation. He's 27. He's a Christian. He's been holding his virginity for how long? Look at the libido and the adrenaline rush and music videos he's been seeing for 27 years on this Satan forsaken earth. Now he's no more God forsaken. After 31 years, you say he should go and get a house, get a job, afford 2 square meals and dessert before he can have legitimate sex. I'm talking about Christian. I don't know about others.
ahead, man.
So all I'm trying to tell is that isn't that too much to ask? Because now it is more difficult for an average guy, not somebody in Accra, the average African, to get a house, get a prepaid meter, get a job that will sustain himself before adding on a woman. So when we are saying that now women can earn more, they can bring more, but we should still maintain the stereotype. It is not fair. It is not contemporary. It will not work.
The conversation.
Then Apostle, let me pass their bubble. Let me pass the two. Then let's go back to when they were holding on to polygamy. Do you know why? Because in the past, men will hold all the resources, so they can marry 4 and take care of 4. It's more penicillin there. There's one district, one factory marriage abroad. Let's go back to sender.
He's making a point.
Yes, because polygamy back in the day, Openi Kojo Tre, he has all the cocoa
People are
farms.
still marrying
No,
for-
but it is no more popular. Ask Apostle, he will tell you. Pastors might not easily be
People
okay
are
with
still
you.
marrying for-
It is not a popular opinion
And-
now.
The polygamy discussion is another one. So
Yes,
let's not
but
stray.
I want to bring in it because that is
Apostle,
why
I
now.
want to say something to his point.
Yes.
With all that he says,
Uh-huh.
you said that asking a man to have a house,
Yes,
have a job,
yes,
have 2 square meals.
yes. To feed himself and then to feed somebody else
Yes.
before he can have legitimate sex. It's
too
unfair.
Much, it's too much to ask.
It's unfair.
No,
Sex-
I'm not saying
sex-
too much.
sex no help,
Yeah, because
that is the
no,
basis
Apostle,
why he
in
said in a
Christianity,
Christian
we tell
society.
we tell the young people that you can't have sex until you are married.
Yes.
And look at Ghana as a
But
country.
now you are saying that asking for that, asking that of a young man,
Yes.
asking a young man to have that before he
Be-
gets married.
No,
is
before
too
he
much.
can have sex.
It is marriage that brings the sex.
Yes.
You
Yes,
want
so
to
I'm
be
telling you how
self-conscious.
unfair we
Yes.
are doing to young men.
is-
Women,
how is
estrogen
that
has a
even
way of being friendly to you when the weather is cold and all, not men.
Let Lucy make a point.
How is that asking a young man to have all these things too much? Are we trying to tell the young men of today not to have anything at all, not to even have something?
We are not
to
preaching
look-
laziness.
No,
You,
but
he
that
seems
is
to
what
shroud
no, I
the
am not
laziness
shrouded. It is the
conversation
point
or
you
irresponsibility
made.
in the
Now,
point.
Kwame, I think that
Don't
Kebi,
say
if you allow her
No,
to,
oh yeah, no. So why are we
but
telling
if
men?
you
We are
allow
not
her
telling
to
men.
make her point, it would help the conversation.
Because he said
My bad.
having a house, you don't necessarily have to own one
Yeah,
because people
but
are
rent.
renting
Yes.
and they are living in it.
And our
so
current
I,
girls,
I
they
really
want
don't
AC.
agree. It is the current building though. The landlords are not bringing windows. I don't really
Thank you.
agree to your point.
Our mother said that Kwame and they were fine.
Lucy,
It is very cold within that. That Atapame is very cold.
Lucy,
Yes.
in the statement
Will you
you
say
made-
Nana Kwame?
in the statement you made, you've just drawn my attention to something. You mentioned the rent. Now, in a system like ours, where people are supposed to pay, hold on, I'm coming. Where people are supposed to pay 2 years rent, I'm coming on. If a lady is earning 5 times what a husband is earning, what a potential suitor is earning, and you're saying that for them to marry, it is the guy who is supposed to bear the cost solely or in a majority way. Don't you think that is very unreasonable for a woman who, in your own words, a woman who would not want to reduce her preferences? I think in observance, who wouldn't want to reduce her preferences? So if a guy feels this is the lady for me, it's one of 2 things. From what you are saying, either he should change his mind about the woman, or he should find a way to match up to what the woman is earning, so that he can give her what she's looking for. But I'm saying to you that in this current environment, don't you think that is what is discouraging men from proposing? So men, you've mentioned
We are on the same page,
No,
Apostle.
we are not.
Because you see,
We are
no,
not.
hold
We are not
on,
being on the
hold
same
on.
page.
I want to draw your mind to something. The conversation you are having with KB, is about the side of the women. That some of the women today make 5 times more, are in the capacity. Dynamics have changed. They are in the business environment commanding more things than most men are. I am saying that the main reason why the men are not going forward is because, one, even when I walked in today and you saw myself, you said you were intimidated. So if someone sees a certain lifestyle by a certain lady, it is difficult for that person to actually approach the said lady because he thinks he is not in the capacity to take care of it. That is what I am saying.
And you are saying, and you've added that it is right for him to think that way because traditionally a man is supposed to be the provider.
A man is supposed to provide.
That was traditional. Let's watch it very
Hold on. So from what you are saying, the man is supposed to be the provider, not only the provider, but the sole or majority provider. So to you, it is right and it is normal for the man to think that way. And so the solution is he must go and get his wherewithal before he can come and propose to this woman. And that is precisely the topic we are discussing.
Great.
So why are the men not proposing? Let me land, please. Why are the men not proposing, from what you're saying, because they feel they need to match up to a certain standard or a certain preference?
That's how they feel.
And that is why we're having this discussion. So that if the conclusion of the discussion is, guys, you don't need to think that way because the times have changed. So you can calm down, give your best. Know that once you get married, the woman, if she gets pregnant, like we mentioned the last time, if the woman gets pregnant, there are certain things she can't continue to do. She can't pursue her. She may not be able to pursue her. The man will have the chance to make some progress ahead of his wife.
You said the man might.
Yeah. Yes, he might.
So might. You see, I keep underlining certain things because not everything situations I do.
Yes.
He can also be a cripple through accident or driving a baller car.
KB.
No, because you are making it look like pregnancy will slow women, so society should give them more opportunity because maternity will come and they cannot pursue their goal. Men too can go into war, go and defend.
At this point, you made it some time ago.
But I'm also reminding the new viewers.
So what I'm saying is, so
Really?
Yes.
So I'm saying, I think
I'll come there.
Hold on. So I think that
was in being men.
I think that from both sides, if the women know that okay, God has blessed me, I'm financially independent, but perhaps my husband doesn't need to be as financially capable as I am. I'm not going to marry a lazy man. I'll marry a man with promise. How do I know? Not just from his yobbing, but from his track record. Once I marry him, I'm going to help him, and together we are going to make it.
Yes. And I'm saying that this counsel you're giving on the show should be directed to the women.
It's to both sides.
No, because you see, if a lady has unrealistic expectations, like I stated last week.
I thought you about it like Lucy.
Oh, no. Lucy doesn't have unrealistic. Well, per the conversations I have had with her, I don't think. Yes. So, if there are unrealistic expectations, and last week I was quick to say that not just from the women, the men also have unrealistic expectations. And there are certain demands now in the conversation of love, relationship, and marriage. So, everyone is playing a defensive game. When they come into a relationship, people don't want to care too much. People don't want to love too much. People don't want to do too much because they have realized that sometimes doing too much puts you in disaster. So now everyone wants to be in the defensive mechanism. You mentioned that, there was somebody you met who was 40 and you think that they are doing well. And that if they would adjust their demands a little or what they are looking for a little.
Maybe they'll be practical.
They will find something.
You can adjust something that
but at the end of the day, it is not the man who is supposed to adjust his demands. That is the argument I am making. The women must get to the place where they understand the potential of a man, the man who is someone who is going somewhere, and also a man that may not have today, but when you see, like you mentioned, his track record, he can get tomorrow. I'm telling you, even today, early in the morning, I had a conversation with a lady friend. And she was saying that she was testing a guy she was dating. Not texting. testing him.
So, or son
Or son ahwe.
Okay.
In terms
Tempting
of
or testing?
Testing.
Okay.
financial,
But when sex comes,
so,
that's temptation.
financial
TEST.
TEST, in terms of financial assistance. And the guy's inability to help at that time showed that the guy didn't love it. Now, this is my point. What if at that material moment he didn't have it?
Yes.
2, what if he had it and he couldn't dispense it? Because you see, there are 2 kinds of money.
Yes.
There is money you have
Yes.
that you can give away, and there's money you have that you need for yourself. That must take care of certain things. So someone is going to base her judgment on the fact that this gentleman came into my life. I needed financial assistance. He couldn't help. And it is a conversation that you hear from a lot of people. And sometimes you hear ladies say, you hear some ladies say, Obama untimi show in that year. And ya do bit me a show that.
Meanwhile, their dads
But
couldn't
it
do
may
same.
not.
To
But
wait.
I can't allow you to be
Kebi,
firing
Kebi.
all cylinders like that.
Kebi, to
Okay.
wait,
To wait.
a man who
also has an
cannot
opinion.
provide now doesn't look like he can provide later.
Agrobeswa.
And which is always not the case. Like I said, if we go back to the story you shared about daddy, it shows clearly that someone may not be in the capacity right now. But when you look at the gentleman, you can tell that this man has prospect and has potential. So my only argument is that let's direct this conversation more to the women, because the man may be ready to settle with a lady who is doing so well. But if that lady is also not ready to bend her
The man
demand,
not bending. Society is expecting something for the woman that your mom and your aunties will tell that no,
Yes.
let him come up to the standard. So I'm telling you that until the pastors, our aunties, our fathers, paying the rent, tell the women that Charlie can't see boy. Back then there was no Bluetooth. Back then there was no female education. Back then there was no STEM. Now there is. If you are in the position to be in some oil company and you are back then there was no woman in that oil company. So now you are also welcome to the table of men. When they say welcome to the table, we are talking about movers and shakers, leaders, politicians. Now women are also in that space. So whatever society was expecting men to do, now women should and can do same. So let's not make it look like when a woman dole out money, help a man finance the home, she's doing something that God has not asked her to do. It's the God thing to do.
But
Help,
Apostle, we
build,
should not forget
dominate.
something. You see, we should
Just that the
not
man is the
forget
head.
something. The man
Yes.
must have
Bibin
a
tia,
starter.
bibin tia.
The man must have a starter.
Because one, if today you want to marry and you don't have money, don't start it.
Why?
Oh.
Why?
Because for me,
Let me make a point.
maybe for me,
Charity.
Smart is my man, and I'm with Smart.
Yeah.
And Smart say, okay, Charity, let's settle down. Then Smart doesn't have anything. What is that?
What is anything? Like it doesn't
Money.
Okay.
One.
Well, you can have character.
Smart will tell you, I'm not working, but I still want us to marry. Oh, we shouldn't forget the fact that the man have to be the starter.
Start as in he should propose
He
or he should
should.
have some money.
He should have money to start
Why is
life.
she thinking like that? Because her aunties.
No.
If the man doesn't have anything, she can't start. That is what Apostle. I
Big
want to be very
Apostle,
careful.
don't
It's a
forget that the
construct
men have
that the
ego.
women are falling for.
Yes, but of course, what we are not saying on this show that the men can
be
marry,
responsible.
that the men can marry without anything.
No, that's not what we are saying.
That is not what we are saying.
But we should
So
be
let's
careful
be
how
very
the women are
careful.
relying on the construct from the past.
Having a job is a no-no.
No,
If
I'm
you-
saying.
if Apostle, because
And
seriously,
even early on, I mentioned that, of course, we should advise that those getting into marriage should be working. Both of them should be
Exactly,
working.
yes.
So
I
there's
know
no
that.
so there's no question about that. That
Yes.
one is not. It's not.
but
even
you
up-
see,
Okay, so
Apostle,
when a woman is
take-
not working, she can be married.
I'm not
But when a man is not working, he doesn't deserve marriage.
we're saying both of them should be married.
No, but I've seen a lot of situations where the woman is not working.
is the man's
She doesn't
choice.
have saloon
It is
or
the
nim
man's choice.
or nim
it is the man's choice.
So you see the two
so-
double standards she is making.
no,
It's like
no.
Bema dear, who ni she dia?
David,
Oh,
you see, we are going too far. I think we are going too far, Apostle.
No,
you
the
can-
conversation
you
is-
can-
has tentacles,
We can
that's
just beg the opinion of the cameraman
Okay,
and ask them that why do you think you are not married now? Like just to survey. Just to so yes,
frank, yes.
we are making it
Yes.
a reality.
A practical
yes.
way,
So
yes.
to be frank,
don't mince words.
here you are with Charity's microphone. So tell us why have you not taken a decision to marry yet? Be very honest with us.
Okay, to be honest, I'm financially not
You are not ready. Why are you? Hold on. Why do you think you are financially not ready?
Because taking a woman is a whole lot.
Yes. Yes. So talk to us about it. When you say a whole lot, what are you talking about?
In terms of taking care of the woman.
Yeah.
In terms of taking care of the woman, providing a whole lot to the house, and it's a whole lot. I wouldn't like to be with a woman and it will be like I'm making a promise and I'm not fulfilling the promise.
Okay.
So me myself, I wouldn't feel
okay doing something like that. So in your current position, if we agree to bring a woman home, would you accept her?
No.
Like a woman who is earning.
So no, I'm just saying. Okay, so now let's go with what Apostle said. If a lady makes more money than you, why would you not approach her?
Okay, let me put it this way. For me, from my perspective, how I see ladies, if I'm with a woman and a woman is the one providing always, to be frank, women are, I should put it this way, ladies are these creatures that when they are always providing something, when they are always providing for you, like their character and
begins to change,
and it will be like their hands will fall on you. So you, the man, you wouldn't even feel okay and stuff. So
you
for
will
me,
go through some emotional.
For me, I'll say it's not the best for me.
To be frank, you won't take it.
No.
No, that's. I'm not saying that it represents the 100% opinion. It does help the conversation.
Yeah, and it does represent what a lot of people are thinking, and that's what KB and I are saying. KB and I are saying. So this gentleman,
I want to add up something. Previously, I was into this relationship with a woman. And,
louder so that we can hear.
Okay, I was in a relationship with a woman.
Like
that
this,
was.
The woman would
His voice is a reflection of his bank account. Can I jump on that?
Okay, so the thing is, you see, sometimes you can be with a woman and maybe you the guy, you know yourself, you are not financially okay, and you the guy being in a relationship, maybe you want to do more for the lady, and maybe the lady will be demanding this, will be demanding that, not as if maybe you don't want to do it, but maybe sometimes you hope you have that capacity to do for the woman, and it will be like you'll be promising the woman today and you will not fulfill the promise tomorrow. When it happens like that, you the man, you lose your respect, and you the man,
you feel bad,
and you the man, you even like to push back and just feel free and just let things go away, because it's not as if the girl is the one not.
It's not like she's even asking for too much.
No.
But you feel like
you know what
the moment she keeps requesting,
you know you are not doing that. So indirectly, you the guy, you not feel okay yourself. So for you to feel better, sometimes you feel like
you
pushing
withdraw
back and
so that she can
working
get
harder,
someone
or
else working hard
when
together.
things comes together for you, you can
now
go
look
for whoever
somebody.
you want to go for.
That's a
Am
perception.
I allowed to be controversial?
So now you see
No,
that.
that's a perception.
Okay, thank you.
That's
a
is he
perception.
sexually active?
Come on.
Do you know why I'm asking that? Because as a Christian, he can only be sexually if he's married. And if all these hindrances are there, how can you have sex?
No, but KB,
you see why? Do you know why I'm bringing that aspect?
Legitimate concerns.
But Apostle, he says something which is very, very risky.
Hey.
You see, we are Christians. Some of us, we do this because I don't have it, she's having it, I feel embarrassed, and we lose the God-given wives. You want to marry because you have money.
I want to say something.
So no, he said something. Because maybe I'll let her go. Maybe one, she hasn't done anything wrong to me. When I get money, I'll go for the woman I want.
And
you say this financial constraints.
At which point, looking at the way things are going right now, at which point will a man? So this guy is probably 20 something. At which point would he be financially okay enough? So that's why, don't you think we should be encouraging the young people that look, you can start with the basics. Both of you should be working.
Sure.
Both of you should be working. If the woman is earning so much more,
if the woman is not working, should she be married? Should a man marry her?
In this current climate, it becomes more complicated.
But if the man is not working, Can a woman
No,
marry
so
her?
we are.
I know they also know. A man, they also complicate.
you
You
know
see,
that-
that is why.
Kevin,
Let's be very careful.
No,
Wait.
listen.
If this time, if a woman is not working, she'll be very, very much embarrassed. Ebedu baby, no.
And you'll be
And
not everyone
Maybe
though.
the crack girls, the Instagram ones.
Not everyone though, but I think that's a lesson
Most though.
I learned from my wife.
Most.
It's a lesson I learned from my
Most.
wife. When I was ready to settle, when I was ready to get married, she said she was not ready. And the conversation was turning down the proposal. Primarily for her, she said that she had to be in the position where she was making some amount of money to support the house.
Yes.
Okay? So I'm saying that it falls back to these conversations. I think 8 months later, I think I proposed to her in February, and she turned it down. So by October, we got married in October. So like we just did 2 years. So by October, she was in a position, and she said, okay, now we can go ahead to do it, because she wanted to support the home as well. And I'm saying that.
What if a richer woman had come in your life?
Who? No, I
Somebody
was committed to.
who has 8 months as
No,
anybody was going to get in 8 months.
I was committed to the relationship.
Exactly.
I was not working.
Okay,
Kwame,
so
Kevin,
you are not the only guy in that position. Other guys would have gotten women coming in their life and say, "Oh, I've gotten that 8 months. Let's marry," and would have said that he's a bad man.
Then,
You see, Apostle, let's be very careful how we are making the ladies think that there's a certain standard that is fit for marriage. In this morning, there's formula nimu biom.
No,
Let's be careful. No, let's be careful. Marriage is
who want to be stay home dads.
that is a conversation that the West realize that it's becoming a reality, and now they're accepting it.
No. So
No, I'm saying it's more weird. Like society frowns on a man if he's not working and he marries,
but KB,
than vice versa.
I think so. You're trying to build on something I have not even said, because what I did say was I think we are suggesting that
Yes, we should all be
both
in the
parties should be
working
working.
should be
Uh-huh.
contributory.
So-
But we've seen marriages where the man
yes,
wasn't working
working.
and the woman was, and it worked. So let's give. You see,
But we can't
Christians
use-
are people of
no,
faith.
no, but
Let's
KB,
also
KB,
give that 2%
but KB, we
possibility where a woman can say that the same way you give.
No, KB.
Oh, now I'm getting confused here.
Kevin, were you working when you got married?
Yes.
Why?
Well,
No, I just want
I was in employment.
You
and-
were
and
in
marriage
employment.
came up.
You felt that you could take care of her home.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
If she wasn't working, would you have taken her home at the time?
Oh, for the type of lady I married, she was not very materialistic. So in this modern Ghana, yes.
So
I'll
you
say
you are making excuses for her.
Exactly.
Based on the same reason, another person is making an excuse
Exactly.
for why he has not made an
Exactly.
attempt yet. So we cannot excuse the excuses of other people. Because you see, you felt like, oh, maybe she was not, but she is not materialistic. She's a wife material, okay? You assess there. And based on the number of times that you had been with her, you could tell from deep within that if this girl makes it, she is going to bring something to the table. And you are reaping
and she's bringing a lot to
precisely my point. So another person is also making an excuse that, okay, I think we cannot invalidate their emotions and say that what they may be feeling is not right.
But it's
We
coming
are
from somewhere,
encouraging.
that feeling.
No,
Let's
but
move on,
Kelly,
let's move on,
we
let's
are
move on.
encouraging.
Let's move on.
All the conversation we have had today is to encourage that when you two get to the precipice of marriage, hey, I'm willing to do this. I'm going to be very honest with you.
You're going to be frank.
Yeah, I'm going to be frank. I'm going to be frank.
Boom.
When I was given my engagement list, I was with my wife at the time, my lady at the time, not married. When we got back to Accra, because we had to visit her dad in another region, we looked at the list. She ticked out all the things
That she can give.
that she was going to give. So in this sense, going back to the premise upon which Apostle built his point,
Yes.
if you have someone who is ready, one, and willing to actually see through the marriage, they would make it work.
Sure.
However, the expectations, like you are saying, it's societal, expectations, and also religious, and
So it's
sometimes-
malleable.
Yes.
Yes.
But at
It's
the end
not
of the
set in
day,
stone.
but at the end of the day, KB, not every relationship ends up like that. Some also feel like, no, you are coming to my. I have a clear example of someone who had the opportunity to marry someone, and she blatantly told the guy that if you cannot buy it all by yourself and pay for the things all by yourself, this
We
thing
have
is
women
not
like
coming.
that, some
And
women
this,
like that.
I'm not talking about a lady who is not working. I'm not talking about someone who probably is doing some menial job. She was in that position to help finance the whole wedding process. She opted out. You see?
Sometimes it's something she's seen before. Maybe her uncle, your bunima, ni auntie kwasiada.
But
Yes, so
but
people don't just-
you cannot judge others by someone's experience.
No, but
Experience
human
is
beings
not
we use
wisdom.
templates. Human beings use templates.
Her own experience.
Yes,
That she
human,
is
human
not
beings work from
supposed to
templates.
support.
People
Blueprints.
have used it against
Exactly.
people they got married to.
You understand? There's always a template.
Uh-huh.
I, the woman, financed the wedding, and the man went to chase another woman. Blah blah.
So now we can guarantee the excuses of men who have not yet approached women because they feel they are not in the capacity.
Yeah. So now, if ladies, a lot of ladies are unmarried, they shouldn't blame demons. They should blame themselves and our ebusuan penny
Why
for
do they blame themselves?
because
Sometimes it is demons.
sometimes let's remove demons because the ladies have raised the standard so much that if the guys sit and they can't take the box, then they shoot their own self in the foot. Let me come and let the lady now shoot me in the foot. I shouldn't shoot myself in the foot in the first place. Let me come and tell me that, Charlie, Joe, because of this, I don't like. But now when he sits down, he knows that looking at your hair, your bone straight, alone grandpa no.
Okay.
That's
So make
Is
your,
it bone
make
straight
your
or bone
last
straight?
point.
what I want to say.
Bone straight.
Bone, as in don't pay. I see bone straight.
So Lucy, make your point and let's
The
move
point
on.
I'm trying to make is that for a man to get to the point to propose, it goes beyond just having met the person.
Now the situation, and with what Smart said, the situation is that sometimes a man sees a lady even for the first time and is interested, but because of the outlook of the lady, he, downplays himself and wouldn't even make the attempt.
He doesn't downplay. Oh, he does a reality check.
You see that? How is that
So
even
the
a
reality
woman's
check will
fault?
make him
How is that
downplay himself.
even a woman's
Men
fault?
don't walk around downplaying
No,
themselves.
but-
Reality checks will make
How
you
is
now
that-
check your
how is
body.
that a
Okay,
woman's fault?
let her land.
Okay.
Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is like Smart said, we should encourage, and even when it gets to the point of marriage, it's from a point to a point that a person wants to get married, and within that period, discussions goes on.
Yeah.
So when you know you cannot meet certain standards, and you're having that discussion, and the woman says, "No, I won't agree." Fine, conversation has gone on, so then a decision has been made. But you cannot stand back and assume, not having communicated.
Yes.
And then make the assumption that this will not be, or this is a no-go area.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work like
But
that.
also, how come we have more women than men? And you people are pushing this agenda that the man should have 3 square meals and
What
dessert
is
and
wrong
expect
with having
Christian
the
women to be
able-
married.
How-
We are not being practical. We are not helping our sisters
When
to get
he says
married.
That too, we are also not helping our men to push and be objective and be more, ambitious.
Maybe we are
There
saying
is
that
nothing wrong
before
with that.
But you guys know you are more than men. You know that reality check. It looks like
Isaiah 4:1.
we are being
Yes,
chauvinist or-
7 women and I will take hold of one man.
Of course, if we are not careful, we are pampering the women without
no,
they
no,
checking
no,
up.
no,
They are
no,
male,
no.
they are more women than men. And Christians, I don't know if it's a charismatic movement. For some reason, they make it look like every woman has to marry. I disagree though. It's the Catholics that came to help Smarties. They've captured some of the sisters in the convent.
Charlie, be careful.
Oh no, the Catholics encourage women who love God to go all out.
Okay.
But in charismatic, they say, well, no matter how much nunly you are, no matter how Roman sister you are, charismatic, they want you to marry by force. Not every woman will marry. So, and I'm saying that if we are assuming or we are saying that men, it's a case, it's a fact that women are more than men, and we want women to marry, then I am putting it to women that if you don't make certain compromises now, it might be too late.
Compromises come with communications.
I think at that point I agree.
So you're saying men, men
the
who are
point-
not approaching women who they think are
afraid.
Communication. You must
Women have not
communicate your
shown-
intent.
graduate or postgraduate women, in my opinion, have not shown that they want to compromise or they can compromise. And modern day apostle, I'm coming to your room. I'm entering your room. Modern day pastors have created this construct that I see in your Range Rover, I see in your necktie, I see in your. So there's a way that even the women, they are sitting in the church with us. So so for somebody to wear clothes, he has to look like smart. He has to have a Range Rover. Charismatic movement. Yes. Let's be very careful.
Okay.
Yes.
So
they are more than us. So they should be careful and work carefully.
For your point.
I
Mo
think
do
we
also
can-
change. When you're careful,
That's why we
the idealism.
if we are not
Now
careful, the
4.0.
contention will be
Yeah.
to take the whole show. So guys, this is what we're discussing. Why the men do not propose, and we are saying that
I claim it.
and we are saying that many men don't propose because of this kind of mindset that they have to be financially at a certain point first before the women would even be open to the idea of considering their proposal. And we are trying to discuss if that is something that should stay, or should we really look at it again and review where we stand on that particular situation. Please send us your comments. I see a lot of comments coming through. Send us yours as well. You can send via WhatsApp. The number is 0203-438-710. The number again is 0203-438-710. In a few minutes, we would also open the phone line so that you can talk to us. And if you also have grievances, if you also have some serious arguments to make, you can take it up with the guest on the show today. But guys, last week, during the live session, somebody commented, one gentleman, he was enjoying the show, and he commented that, I think I made a statement, or somebody made a statement that women should they should bring down their standards. And the guy said no, they should rather bring down their preferences. They should bring down their preferences. But I still have an issue with that. I still think women should reduce their standards for many reasons. And I say that because there are women who have physical standards that they are looking for. So they're looking for the stereotypical six-pack in the man.
Some even like beard men now.
Men, bearded men. Okay. So the typical six-pack man, a certain height, a certain financial standing, which I think we've kind of discussed, okay, and so many other things. But it is my opinion that these women are hurting themselves because of these standards. And to be frank, women need to come to the realization that at some point in their lives, they tend to lose their, should I say, bargaining power. I say that because, so there's a, Lucy, why are you rolling your eyes at me?
Biological clock.
So apart from the biological clock, so there's a lady. There are so many ladies I've encountered, some in church and outside, and the lady is 40-something, 45, and she still has these standards in mind that, God, I'm still praying for a man who is 6 feet tall, a man who has a six-pack and all that, and in my mind I'm thinking, oh yes.
Hey. You didn't know?
I'm serious. There are ladies like that.
What God cannot do
does not exist.
So they are still believing it's going to happen.
So I'm coming, let me learn. So these ladies are there, and I'm saying, in my mind, I'm thinking, perhaps these standards could have held when they were much younger, when they were in the prime of their lives, maybe 25, 23. But now at 40-something, I don't think you have the same bargaining power, okay? And so at some point, as you see that, and I say that because by 40-something, humanly speaking, the value of the woman in male eyes would have been affected. Yeah. So a man is not going around looking for a 40-something-year-old woman to marry. He's not going around looking for a 50-something-year-old woman to marry. A man is looking for 23, 22. I think you caught your own young. Yeah. You caught her young.
My wife was,
she was very young in the prime.
Caught Mary.
Be careful.
So their standards.
Be careful.
Not in the carnal sense. Like, I mean, her heart was for God at a very young age, which we encourage women to do. Love God when you are young. Don't go and mess up before, after born, then you have come.
This guy. So
we are being frank.
So the point is, what market value is driven by what people are looking for. So if most men are looking for women at a certain age with certain qualities, then it stands to reason that once you cross a certain age range, the market value has
the chase will not be the same.
chase
it's
is
like
not,
the pot.
Exactly. The chase is not the same.
Demurrage.
So if the chase is not the same, does it make sense for the women to hold to the same standards that they had before?
Honestly, this question, I've been arguing this for 16 minutes now. This question,
and this, I'm coming. Just 1 minute. let me land in 10. Let me land in.
Yes.
So let me land in 10 seconds. Somebody heard me make a similar statement. I was in a particular country, and the women were so upset. They were shocked because they're like, "We've never heard anybody say this before. How can you tell women to lower their standards?" But to me, this is the practical thing to do. If women would lower their standards,
It depends on
perhaps
the standards, those standards.
Common
if
sense.
they could lower their, I'm not saying women should lower their principles.
Yes.
No,
It's
I'm
different.
not
values.
saying-
Or
I'm
values.
not
So
saying that-
by all means, we expect that
depends on the standards.
we expect that women would marry God-fearing men.
Yes.
Maybe
Men who are
responsible men.
we can interchangeably use the word expectations.
Yes.
I think people have a problem with the standard.
Yeah, it
So
makes it look-
let's say expectations.
Yes.
They expect the man to be 6 feet. So sometimes I ask myself, who will marry the short people? Because but eventually, I don't be up or
And even the short people cry. Observing me, yeah. In my family, I'm the tallest, but I'm 5'11". I'm not 6 feet. I'm not. Are you 6 feet?
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm beyond that.
You're beyond 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm beyond 6 feet.
You're among the few.
I'm the choice of Ghanaian men.
Hey, now they don't have money for that.
Hey, I'm power.
So don't need Scadia.
So the problem is this: how many men are even as tall as I am? Let alone talk about 6 feet. So. In an age where the men are already fewer than the women.
White storybook, so it was
Apostle,
a Mills on
yes,
Boom, so
I
it
wanted
was
to say
a
something.
tall, shining, where in
Do you
armor.
know-
We
Shining
allow
prince.
the West to dictate how our women should see a man of
It's
value,
not
and
even
it still continue with
It's not
telenovelas.
even
Let's
the
correct
West.
it before it's too late.
The challenges, the movies are too much.
So do you agree? Charity.
For me, I don't agree.
So do you agree that women should lower their standards at some point?
The
in their life?
expectation.
For me, I would say
Lower
that
their
why
expectations.
do you have to wait till you get older?
Then you lower the
No,
expectations.
Why do you have to take that risk?
Oh, because your pastor
No,
will tell you
but-
that Abraham had
I
a
would
baby
say-
at 90, so keep
When you
keep
do
believing.
that, I want to speak tree. But then me fin,
So you don't have faith.
not faith, please.
Hey, why?
Me fin.
He's taking it.
Apostle, then she doesn't have faith. God said you bring your own at your own time. Why are you? Why
do you
now
have to
pray?
stay for that?
Go ahead.
You exercising faith.
Charity.
Why do you have to wait for that longer period? Then now you're just coming to koto to anything. No, it's dangerous.
So what
So stop it. When you get to 25, 30, honestly, you should know what, as Apostle said, God fearing should be the paramount. Two, somebody who is having normal
Responsible,
work,
yes.
responsible. But all along, I'm having a friend. She's not that. she's short.
She's
So-
mobile.
We want
Women
campus.
are allowed to be short.
Last month, I was in the room with her. I said, the guy is too. The guy came to the hostel. What about? Said nice Oscar.
Yeah.
I said, "Child, to me, that mean I can't be with him." Because the moment I do this, in fact, I'm going to disappoint my
and
generation.
her reason was what? The guy was too short.
Too short.
Look at
And
Guess
some
what? It
people
was
think-
an auntie's construct, not even her.
it's
That is
not.
what I want.
No, it's not
Ghanaian,
auntie.
a project work.
No,
My
no,
project
no,
work.
no,
My
no.
undergrad project work was about stereotypes. Most of the I won't mention the university, but it's in Ghana. Most of them were like, oh, me mom, like everything was, hey, me mom, hey, me mom. You realize that in Ghana, I don't know about now.
Those who feel
A lot
good.
of times, our women are just a reflection of their mothers because we don't accumulate money enough to move out quickly, unlike the West. So most women, I don't know about now, are like their mothers. So when she's saying they're short, it's not that she hates short people. Otherwise, Nana don't be president. We saw his value. We didn't
Oh
look at his
yes,
height.
yeah, it's true.
But a lot of people say, hey, short there, and it is not her. It is what she has said in her family.
Let me
No,
stop. KB, hold on.
then you
Never
don't-
talk about our president like that.
No, I didn't
How
say
can
that.
you call him an Ambotia?
I'm saying that I didn't know. I'm saying you see, then you don't talk to the ordinary Ghanaians. You don't. You people, you talk to only the Trasago and Jawulu people. When you go to the average Ghana home, the decision most of the time, no disrespect, some of them they didn't go with their daddies. In poor communities, most of them is one woman who is a dad. So most of the time, their perception about who a correct guy is I'm telling Novella she what? Hey, the guy has long hair. Hey, he came to pick her in a car. She's having a fantasy she never was able to, whatever. So she projected on there. It's just our dad. Most of them couldn't be lawyers because of our past. Yes. Meanwhile, imagine Shatawale was a dentist and not a musician. They would force him to be a dentist or a doctor or whatever. We wouldn't have had the pound hits we are having. We would have had a mediocre person. So most of the women, they don't like the men their mothers don't like. They love the men their mothers like. But guess what? Their dispensation is different. Their mother's time, their dad could marry them and another Rita. Your dispensation is one district, one factory. And on all the districts, there are no factories.
So for me, I'm saying that don't wait to get to that stage.
Because also the reason I disagree with her is that they tell us to have faith. When the lady is 30, believe God. That's what some of your pastors, not all. Maybe you don't do that. Then she feels 32. Then some. When the prophetic came, then they say prophetic wave started and it.
True.
I see you in your 40 in your ring. Charlie, we know that as apostles by 40, Charlie.
Everything be say grace be if you don't get some grace. Before you are 40.
But that grace, I have a problem.
Why do you even need?
Yes, why do you wait for a grace of God when there are principles? When there's biological
it's risky.
So I think
you
asked the question, why wait? I think when they are younger, they have a say. They have bargaining power because so many men are chasing you, so you can actually be fussy about your decision.
And when you are younger.
I don't have a problem with that. For me, I think that's normal. But I'm saying that women should wake up and smell the seaweed. They should wake up and see that, look, once my value in human eyes seems to be diminishing, I must be flexible and adjust certain things, adjust my standards or expectations.
Isn't pastors miseducating our ladies about faith and waiting?
No, he's right.
Yes, isn't that the pastors?
It's another big problem.
Yes, Apostle, your people, how come they are not telling them that there is grace, but sometimes principles will apply? We have to add knowledge.
I'm a pastor and I'm speaking for the pastor.
No, you are the correct one. Yes, in everything.
There are many pastors who are saying the same thing.
Hey,
yes.
We should open phone lines and ask them how many people have not heard prophecy tell at 40 when the guy who is available is not rich, but the pastor has told that sick, so at 30 she's waiting.
But KB, we need to be careful because it is a fact that some women have married at 40, 50, 60 even. So that one is the end.
There always been a extreme case.
And by the prophetic and the miraculous, people can.
But there are less miracles and principles in the Bible. So let's be careful.
So my issue is instead of getting to a point where we have to expect a miracle, why not do the practical things?
Exactly.
Okay, so not disputing the fact that miracles can happen through a prophetic declaration. People can get married at a very old age and all that. But I'm saying our women today, some of whom I've spoken to this week, have made these statements. And they
Apostle, so are you saying that pastors, you tell them to reduce their expectations, but they are not listening? Is that what you are claiming?
Is that
what
I think that's
something else?
No, I think some women have not heard this side before. Some women have not heard that. Look, the reality is that as you are growing, your value, your market value goes.
So Apostle, you are saying pastors are telling them, but they are refusing to listen.
I'm saying one, some pastors are telling. Two, some women have not woken up yet. They don't know this reality.
Okay, so we are telling them, but they are not listening.
Yes. Okay, so and it is my desire. I wish that the women would wake up and smell the seaweed. Lucy, you've bowed your head. Is there a problem?
The issue for me,
I
think that for a very long time now, we have not had mothering mentors for some women. And I've always been saying this. I wish that we had more married people mentoring the young people in the churches. Aside what pastors will say on the pulpit, that's just about 2 hours of the time. And some of these ladies who are in the congregation, they don't get someone else with a different experience to tell them some of the harsh realities of life. So they don't get to learn. And so where do they learn? They learn from all these celebrities. They learn from all these videos, movies, and reality shows. And so we have too many fantasies that, as for a man, he's in a glass house. And in that glass house, sometimes there can be an elevator. There are 3 cars. what he picks is the clothes he's wearing. So maybe today he's wearing a blue suit, you will see him in a blue car. So there is this make believe that the ladies expect.
Mirage.
Yes, that the man should be. But when they believe that for about 5 years, then now they shift. And this is where I like what KB said. They shift the work they are supposed to be doing on the ground to the pastors to do it for them. And so now they will be moving from one church to the other.
They end up being depressed.
Making it look like their pastor isn't even saying the right thing. So now they are hoping that someone can validate the expectation they have with a prophecy.
Unrealistic.
Yes, the unrealistic expectation they have with a prophecy. So if they go to a church and someone says that, oh, I see you, I see your ring coming, and that man you are going to be with, they have faith in that person now, which is very, very wrong in the sense that the young girls today should have people speaking to them, should have people sharing stories with them, should have married people mentoring them, because they don't have good examples by virtue of what they are watching, what they are listening to, and the people they are
Apostle,
picking
do you
as
know
their
why
son.
there's
But
that
do
challenge
you
with mentoring? The next time I hear some celebrities a marriage issue is outside. He went to somebody fool with her personal whatever, now maybe celebrity X. His marital issues are on Twitter because these young people don't no, then they put it out there. So now people are careful being mentors. Back in the day, she didn't have a phone to call or she didn't have a WhatsApp. Hey, did you know that I want a celebrity Apostle?
Oh, but then
Yeyo.
mentors.
Do you know Apostle Yeyo's wife is the one who feeds the home? Hey, sir, but Apostle Yeyo was just trying to tell her that Charlie, do baby, the woman will bring something. So now everybody is protecting their privacy.
No, I was only saying that.
No, you said
you are right.
But they should
they
pick.
are afraid.
But
Their
before you pick,
laundry will be outside.
KB,
They want to.
you can admit that before you pick a mentor. I mean, come on. You don't.
But the tendency has reduced, the propensity has reduced because of what they are hearing. Even house helps.
So someone like me,
Uh-huh.
my first example of marriage was my parents.
So
You get my
thank God
point?
you had a
So I'm
good
saying that
example. Thank
Precisely.
God.
That's the conversation we
So
are
how
having.
many people have
We are
good
finding
examples?
solution because, to be frank, when we discuss the issues, we propose what we think.
So the solution is that
Yeah.
young people don't go and put celebrity or
Too
senior
much in a
pastors
box because you
It's
see,
killing us.
Yes,
because
the,
KB,
so the solution
you
I'm giving
admit
is that
that-
everyone mentors
Yes.
don't go and put
you admit
people's
that
learning
sometimes,
outside.
like Lucy would always say, the father provided. So she has an example of a man who thinks of the whole.
Yes.
KB, let me.
When
land.
the man also provides,
let
she
me
also
land.
gets an example
Let
of
me
a
land.
woman who also
You don't-
meets halfway.
KB, let
But
me-
Smart, I wanted to add something.
Smart observing the
So you see, sometimes when you get an early example in your life, it helps shapes your decisions. It helps shapes your life. It helps shapes even your values and your principles. Because at the end of the day, someone is growing up. The truth of the matter is that those ladies that maybe are having high expectations, when you go behind the scenes, some of them have people financing that lifestyle that they are looking for. Yet those people are not ready to settle down with them.
Darby.
You get it? So this is what we are
You
saying.
know they don't love them. You
No,
both
no,
say
no, I'm
one
just
man,
saying.
one woman. That's why they can't add on.
But
That's why we have to address it.
Smart.
Event-
My
yes.
sisters are going
Eventually,
single
what we
and
should
they are
encourage-
depressed.
In
I'm
addition to
not
what
happy.
you just said,
Do you want to marry
I
for?
think
Not
what
me.
is creating this kind of
This energy.
people not being mentored is some of this in quotes. The children we have, they intimidate their parents with their schooling. So before your mother has that root to say, I do it yet. Now come mama muta me trip.
Yeah.
Intimidation with our schooling.
Yes, and our suit and tie.
And
Not even going to
that is it.
And our
now
suit and
we
tie.
just intimidate them.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
also the problem. Because now you see 50, 60 years old woman in a church. And she wants to behave like a youth.
Yeah,
So
Kwe
there.
Jam. She's left
And
behind.
she's scared even to come and talk to you. Maybe you are 28, 25, you are a medical doctor.
You have
How
some
dare.
Corolla SB.
How dare
Nikunu of 30 years
So
old.
the intimidation that we give to the elderly people now better, they must also keep themselves.
Yes.
From us, we be insulting them.
Yes.
That's another
so
problem.
guys, what advice would you give? I think we are basically on the same page.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
we've agreed that women at some point
Yes.
should be able to
Apostle, women should
adjust.
embrace
They
common
should
sense.
What I want
adjust
you
the
to
Women
say
should
is
start
that
embracing
you
common
shouldn't-
sense.
You shouldn't have expectation where you have to adjust at some point.
Exactly.
You see, because honestly, I am really against adjusting at some point. What you me, I'm that straightforward.
Why project management?
What you expect, what you expect should be something that is realistic.
Exactly.
And not needing adjustment, irrespective of the time you get
Lucy,
to. That is my
how an expectation is even unrealistic because you can't control the variables in the future.
No.
So you're going to have.
But KB, everybody has expected. You expected your wife to have certain wife material.
But it could have changed. It's a variable that can change.
Some features.
Apostle, what is she trying to say? That she's trying to tell the young ladies that hey, the guys will bully you to lower the standard.
No, that's not what she said. She didn't say
It's not what
that.
she said. She said don't have it in
She
the
didn't say that, KB. As far
In a
as
few
this-
minutes, we are going to open the phone.
What I said, and I'll say it again.
Okay.
You
Say it.
shouldn't have an expectation.
Unrealistic ones, exactly.
Just it.
So
Then that is unrealistic from day one.
It
hold on,
should be,
let's allow.
your expectation should be realistic enough
Hey.
that through all the times or what level you get to. I think when
So can you give me an example?
I will give you an example.
Sure, please do.
I didn't want to get married. I was working.
It's
I
your
started-
right.
I started working very early when I was 20 years.
Okay.
And everybody thought since I was working, I could,
Find someone.
finance, find someone. But I felt I wasn't earning enough. So I should get to a point where I am earning enough because when things go tough, when things, like I said, my father provided, but it would always be a better situation when some come support from the other. That is not to say my mother didn't, she did. So I wanted to be in a position where I can also support for the home to be comfortable.
Yes, which is fine.
And I don't think it is an unrealistic
No, so
expectation.
yes, that one I think there's no doubt.
It
we've-
might.
No,
If
fine.
10 out of your
KB,
10 guys
KB.
who are
No,
admitted,
no.
all of
KB,
them, you were
KB, let
financially ahead
oh,
of them.
child.
Hold on, KB. So
It
that
is
one,
possible.
KB, hold on. I
KB,
think
let her
that one
finish her point.
for the past hour or so, we've discussed that. So
Yes.
that
So
now
what I'm saying
what
is
we are
Solutions.
talking about is,
Solutions.
no, hold on. What we are talking about, we're talking about women's expectations of the men, and I gave examples like the stereotypical six-pack,
body.
the height, the financial.
Even nowadays, there is salary figure, salary range, or
bracket,
how do you call it? Yeah, the
salary
bracket,
bracket.
sorry.
So that's what I mean by adjusting your expectations, not your principles or your values. So that's where the conversation is coming
That
from.
is what I'm saying, that these things
So
are
I
fleeting. Like all that you mentioned.
Yes.
Are fleeting.
So you
They
agree?
shouldn't be there to even adjust at a
Oh.
point. It should, no, Apostle.
Apostle,
That's
no. I think to her, no. What she means is,
or a broad-chested person.
whatever you need should be.
But every
normal.
movie you watch, the blowman is 6-chested. It's only Tupac who was short.
I have no idea what I have read.
But-
and what
Onuga
I
no
have,
six.
So
because
Lucy.
of what I had at home and the realistic situation within my environment.
Okay.
So that is it.
So Lucy, I think so. What I'm
I
saying
said
is,
that's me. A bit me so.
what I'm saying is,
Alan for
so
2010.
that's why I wanted an example of your expectation. So if you said to you, if what is realistic is a man who is any height, is that it? Which I think is not really practical because we will all have our expectations.
Yeah.
There are some men who have certain preferences, and because of that, they block out certain women. So, for instance, if the guy is dark and he says, "I don't want to marry a lady who is also dark," that is something. And I'm saying women sometimes have such expectations, and I'm saying that at some point they are within. At some point,
Now we are the day.
And you know it happens.
Yes.
so what I am saying is, at some point, these women, they are within their rights to have these preferences, and it's okay. But at a certain point, because one of the ladies I was talking to, she was saying she's 40 something, and she was saying all the guys who are coming to me now are either widowed or they are divorced, and in my church they don't accept divorce. So here's the problem: when she was in the prime of her life.
First, it comes back to your
Let me
doorstep
learn.
again.
So when she was in the prime of her life, she could demand a single guy or somebody who's never married before. But at a certain point in her life, it is very difficult to have such an expectation. That's what I'm saying. Do you understand? So it's normal for any woman to want someone who hasn't been married before. It's normal. But at a certain point, you need to go back to the drawing board and readjust, because those men at that stage in your life, most men, like we've said before, most men are not looking for that age bracket. So you would either you are most likely to get people who have been married before or are widowed. You get, so that's what I'm talking about. So
but even that is not even her. It is the church, like you said.
I want Apostle them to take some blame small.
Gen Z.
It's what we are hearing on Sundays.
We have to open the phone line.
It's what we also hear on Sundays. Let's blame the pastors too small. Politicians and pastors, let's sometimes blame them when they are wrong. Celebrities are a product of governance and a religious belief.
So we are going to open the phone lines.
Okay.
And Charlie, you didn't go far.
I can see the comments.
So we are opening the phone lines in a bit, but okay, observing. Read some of the comments for us.
Okay. Wow, quite a lot today. This person is Enoch from Sampa. Enoch says that I think most of the women set high standards, which most men are not able to afford. And also, Adwa from Takwa says that I think men don't want to propose because most of them are not ready to take up any responsibilities. That's also a topic for another day. Then going all the way to Facebook page, says watching you live from Ashaiman Jericho in the Nature's Gift office. Shout outs to everybody in the Nature's Gift office. Michael Kenite says Kenite. Okay. Kenite says great. I really love the conversation. And Joyce Asante says, Apostle, Archbishop's era is a different thing. But on a serious note, I think women should help if they have, because love gives. And so Archbishop was in a different era. Then OJ Blessing says, I'm watching you live from Nigeria. This great topic. I love precious television. Gracelyn from Kaswa, the other country in Ghana, says that please, I'm a Pentecost member. What you are saying now was then. So the background check thing. I married in the church and no one went to my husband's house to check anything. It was the olden days that this was there, but not now. Now we do counseling for people with one partner being even outside the country.
Wow.
We have a caller on the line.
That's good.
We have our first caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Elom. I'm calling from Spintex.
Elom from?
Spintex.
Spintex. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I like your program. I watch every time. I don't like to miss it.
Thank you.
But today, in fact, I am very sad and disappointed. I feel that women are really at disadvantage in this area of the world. We blame women for everything. The topic, I think, is why are men not willing to marry? Yeah. And then the table turns all around back on women. Everything seems to be women.
A woman at the Apollo.
When the man cheats, is because of the woman. If the woman goes out just as the man, she's the same person who fends who take care of the house chores, the same person who has to carry pregnancy and labor, sometimes who have to die at the hospital out of labor. But the question is, God instituted marriage. What are the tasks he has apportioned to both man and woman? The woman is supposed to take care of the house and carry pregnancy and the curse of pregnancy and labor and all that. The only duty God gave man was to go out there, sweat, and bring to the house. He is the head of the home. The woman comes in as the helpmate. Now, you are asking why the men are not marrying, and they said it is the cause of the women. I find it very hard to understand it, especially the gentleman you call KB.
Yeah,
He said if the woman cannot marry, if the woman can marry without working, why do you think the man shouldn't do so? So then who is the head of the home?
We disagreed with him.
In fact, I'm sad. I feel that women, in fact, seriously, we are too victimized for everything. What Lucy mentioned is that what then is the responsibility of the man as the head of the home? They say women now are getting more than the men, like 5 times salary than them. Where were the men before the women are taking care of the house, carrying pregnancy, going to the labor hall, came to overtake them in the working field? What that is the only thing that God has given them to do. Where were they when women came to overtake them? And instead of advancing the men to get up as men, the head of the home, to get their responsibility and get their equal right, it's all back to the women. No, I think that this is why women are suffering in marriage, and they now even start cheating outside because the burden is too much for them. And the men are being idolized. They are just being like an idol. Everything they do is right. I feel so this, and at the tail end of the program, it is the women. Meanwhile, the men, that is the main topic. Instead of giving the men some vital advice for which they should also get up, I didn't see it throughout the program. I didn't see it.
Okay.
And so the men feel that they can just do anything and get out with it. Everything is a woman. It's rather unfortunate.
Okay. Thank you so much, Elom. It's very unfortunate that this is the impression that has been conveyed, but that was not our intention. And I think in the discussion, we did mention several times that we expect men to be responsible. Okay. However, we were saying that women should also reconsider some of their positions, right?
Expectations.
Some of their expectations. And so, please, we want to state on this show that we do not believe in victimizing women. We don't believe that women carry all the blame. Oh, yes. It's the reality. It's the reality. And we've said it on the show
we're
today.
not encouraging guys to lazy.
We are not encouraging guys to
that.
shirk their responsibility. We've said it several times. All right. I think we'll just pick another. Yes. Do we have another caller on the line? Okay. We have another caller. Hello. Good afternoon. Okay. We have another caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Okay.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is Godfred.
Okay.
I'm calling from Bawi.
Godfred from Bawi. Go ahead, Godfred.
Okay. I want to add my opinion to the topic. My own understanding is that it all comes from our house. When you get to the marriage stage, your parents will tell you, this is the kind of lady that we have, this is the kind of man that we want. And even women also have their desires that they want. Maybe if a man is any higher, maybe he's a mason, an artisan. No, he doesn't want. They want the office guy. Office guy. Someone, I work at the bank. I work at airport. I work at. No, maybe you are an artisan, a mason, a mechanic, a tailor, and you go and ask someone which maybe is going to invest you. To ask you, also nam enemy.
Are you in my league?
Enemy. But what kind is this? Even the main reason that a man has to be responsible, that a man has to be the head of that. That is good. So the man has come to you. He has seen something with you. Oh, my lady, I like you. I want us to come together. I will come and come. What happened to me? Or you made me. You graduate. Your mother, even the lady parents will tell you, you know, do call you now. When you be uncle, I say, lady, a carpenter. Well, how about lawyer? How about engineer? How about a banker?
Okay.
Where does banker come from?
Thank you very much,
It's
Godfrey.
how you provide for. If you are a mason and you can provide for your family, that's the main reason.
Thank you.
But the ladies have put it, have this women this, no, me, I want a banker. I want someone this. I don't want any. But all you ladies, as the Bible says, as a scripture, my other colleague was saying that in Isaiah 4. You people are many. The guys are few. So if the guys 10,000 are ladies and 5,000 are, and you are making, how many people will you get?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Thank you very much, Godfrey.
So the
Thank you,
point is
Godfrey.
most are from our parents.
Okay, thank you. So Godfrey has made a very, very good point. So he says sometimes the parents have a part to play because of some expectations that they project onto the children. And I hadn't even thought about it that way. He said sometimes the artisans even make much more money than those who sit in the office.
No, but it is true.
And so, yeah, because if somebody is a carpenter and he has the ability to take care of the house, I mean, why say that? You know, you're
because
looking
in Ghana,
for an office.
most big men are politicians, and we pay politicians, so they are actually not that rich.
KB is not my friend.
It's
So
my personal.
if you are coming to attack him,
when they
we
say
have another
somebody is a
caller.
big man,
KB, we have
Ghana,
another caller.
is paid by the taxpayer.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from, please.
Please, my name is Michael, Prophet Michael, calling from Ahafo, also.
Okay, Prophet Michael from Ahafo. Go ahead.
Yeah, I also want to contribute. Yeah, but I'm thinking that it all comes to the standard that some of the ladies have set for themselves. Christian ladies.
Christian, okay.
God has given us advantage in His word. For instance, the Bible says, "Whosoever found a wife found a good thing in the sight of God." So when we are looking for favor, we don't pray. We only take advantage of the word of God, and then we receive the blessings of God. But here the case that ladies are most of the times looking up to certain standards. They are looking up to some things. For instance, the value of a man is within him. Some men, if you see them today, what? And then maybe I will show my name. You might not be seeing it now. But as time goes on, you will see it. You will see a man today. He's not having the car. He's not having the coat. But it is within him. Put some years to come now. But today in church, you see, ladies are already like one pastor was saying, like in church, you see, because of some of us that are preaching the grace message, okay, God will bless you with a man in coat, a man in the Benz, and a man and that is what most of the ladies are looking at. So today, if you don't have those things in church, the ladies are not ready to accept because of the expectation. I think that is the problem for the church now.
Thank you. Very good.
God bless you. So
thank you very much. Thank you. So we are still not forgetting that the men have a responsibility. Please let's re-emphasize that the men have a responsibility. But you see, like the man said, like the caller said, it is the men who propose, not the women. And that's why it may be looking like the women are being blamed, because it's the women who have to accept the proposal. So some men don't propose because the one you are going to propose to may have a particular mindset, and that's what we are trying to address. All right. Okay. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. Yes, your name and where you're calling from, please.
hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Please, my name is Joseph Ahomia.
Joseph.
I am calling from Jakarta, to be precise.
Okay, go ahead, Joseph.
Boss, to be very meticulous with you, I don't know that guy over there, KB. I think his name is.
Yeah, KB the MC.
I tell you before God, man, I don't know how old that guy is, but I am telling you before God, man, that if the ladies we have in Ghana, to be precise, would listen to KB, believe you me, the woman will have a wonderful marriage.
You said every woman will have a wonderful marriage if they listen to KB.
KB too. Guy is gifted.
He's gifted.
He knows what he's talking about. I know me, I know myself, and I know women. There was this lady who asked me a question. How would you differentiate between somebody who is not good? as in men. And I told the person that women don't have time for women who play games. They don't have time for women who be dragging their feet when they think it is only a man who knows what he's telling you to. Of course, I don't want to talk too much, but I'm giving all the credit.
Okay.
But overall, I'm giving it to Katie because that kid, and again, I do make this. The man of go a bit here. See, they should forget about their ego and forget about their standards.
Instead, forget your ego and standards.
You are dealing with submission and the right thing.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think we'll pick one last call so that observing you will read some of the comments. So let's pick one last call. KB, the guy has felt you.
No credit, I want to.
Yes, truth is one.
Okay. Okay, let's pick our last caller. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, your name and where you're calling from, please.
Please, my name is Dorcas and I'm calling from Adenta.
Dorcas from Adenta. Go ahead, Dorcas.
Please, talking from based on the expectations that you were saying, like most of the girls go around with expectations. And I think maybe you were saying that they should black the pastors and then ministers. I think they should also black the teachers as well.
They should what?
When I was in school, one of my teachers said that I should marry a dark guy because I'm fair in complexion. And if I choose a dark guy, if I choose a fair guy, all my children will be mulatto children and all that. So he even went ahead to introduce one of the guys in my class to me. And the boy took the advantage by being my friend, started giving me gifts and all that. I don't like those things. So when you completed school, you were still doing those things in my house. So just recently he proposed to me and I was like, what is this? I told him that I'm doing something, I'll come back to you. I just block his line, I don't like that. So they should also block the church and say they are doing that.
Okay. All right. So it's not just the parents and the pastors, but the teachers, basically people who have influence in society should be advised. All right. Thank you so much for calling. Let's cut the phone lines. Observing, what are some of the comments?
So this person says that, good afternoon, this is my take about a man and a woman. The man is like a farmer and the woman is like the land on which the farmer wants to farm on. Some of the farmlands are already fertile while others are partly fertile or even has no fertility. If the land you have is fertile, it's a bonus to you, the farmer. But if it's not fertile, it is up to you, the farmer, to make sure you make good use of the land to feed your family through all means. Whether the woman has it or not, it is up to you, the man, to go out there and look for the money to take care of your family. Kwesi from Bando. Gracelyn from Kaswa says, the apostle, it shouldn't be that the lady should be earning more than the men before supporting. Even if the lady is earning so little, she should still support. Yes, our ladies need this advice. Now someone says, I married a short man. I always perceive my future has to be taller than I am. My future husband has to be taller than I am. I am tall. Women feel secured and protected when their men are like that. I think it is a perception. We were pen pals. He really helped build my gifts for those years till he felt I was the wife. He kept boundaries, displaying my pictures to keep others away without my knowledge. Then he asked if I could marry an Osofo. I said I was going to be one myself. I accepted his proposal before seeing him. I got broken. My friend told me to marry a man with a vision. She asked if tall or short people will put food on my table. And here I am. I'm enjoying 20 years of marital bliss. I would have missed God's plan if I had followed this height thing. Next person, marriage is a big deal. It's not for kids. A man is to provide for his family, be his wife a millionaire or not. The woman is to complement. Marriage is a mindset. One's appreciation of marriage is largely a consequence of his or her upbringing and or what she or he has been exposed to. Not every man or woman is worth marrying, and that is why you are responsible for who you choose or choose not to marry as a man. You are first and foremost supposed to provide for your family. You must enter marriage with that mindset, irrespective of what the woman has or is to bring on the table. A good woman, loving woman, who wants to marry and want her marriage to succeed will bring her quota to the table. From where I sit, I have never believed in actively expecting my wife to play the role of the provider. I have never bothered to ask how much she earns or how much she can bring. She will make a home out of a house for me to come. She will raise my kids in the best possible way. She has the attitude to do right when none is watching, and the virtue to keep that up. Marriage is a responsibility. If you are not ready, do not attempt being you the man or the woman. But if you're ready in its entirety and claim not to be, but you can flirt around with all manner of men and women, then you should take a second look at yourself in the mirror. You might just be a joke. That's from Joseph Otu. Our last message here from Apostle Simon Nabi of Mountain Dunamis Church, Edura, Ashanti region. Says women are creating spiritual marriage for themselves.
Go ahead.
One of the best vessels for today's women to be delivered from spiritual marriage is to mitigate their expectations, pressure, demand on men, and see how many ladies will be left without marriage. And also, Christian females should stop importing secular relationship and marriage features into Christendom. And yeah,
there are other comments, but I think because of the time. Thank you so much. This topic.
I think we have not really delved deep into the topic, because, like I said, what I was trying to put across earlier was the question was, why are the men not proposing? And I still believe that we must address the men issue and not like shift the goalpost. And that's what I've been trying to say since the program started. What we want Elom to also understand is that this show, since it started, has not in any way victimized women or made women come under a lot of backlash. I believe that maybe the direction of the conversation today made it look like we are trying to victimize the women. I believe strongly that we must be speaking to the ego of the men. We must be speaking to creating opportunities also for men. Because I believe strongly that today, when you listen to almost every initiative, any program, any policy, though we are trying to push the female empowerment and women empowerment, some way, somehow, the balance is not there because we are leaving the men behind. And I think that it should be wholesome to capture both the women and the men. Because there are conferences that are organized for women that, you know, even men should be there to also learn that this is the makeup of a woman. And if men don't understand that makeup and the women occupy those spaces, it would also be difficult for the men to handle, you know, women when they find themselves in those spaces. So it's key that we let the men into the conversation.
Okay, our time is up.
Yeah, Pastor, but I also like to also say that the men should be bold.
Okay. So men should be bold. They should be persistent
to propose.
All right.
Please, the viewers are waiting for your phone number.
Okay, in addition to what this just said, we must also have it in mind that we are all different people. What might work for you might not work for somebody. Maybe what might prevent you from proposing is not the same as what is preventing someone from proposing. So we must not look at that. Every man is like that. Individualism too is there.
Okay, so what I also say is there's something called a Peter Pan syndrome. It's for men who refuse to take responsibility or grow up. If you know you have that problem, if it's spiritual, see your pastor. If it's psychological, see your therapist. If it's financial, see your finance minister.
Get a job. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We had Charity, KB the MC,
yes,
Lucy, and then Smart the observing journalist. I'm Apostle Francis Ajinasari. See you same time next week on To Be Frank. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.